Come along with us while we explore the historic sites of Seville and the pristine beaches of Mallorca. Seville is a city steeped in history. This city showcases its rich cultural heritage through stunning architecture and strong traditions. As the capital of Andalusia, Seville was once the thriving hub of Moorish civilization, leaving behind architectural marvels like the Alcazar and the Seville Cathedral. This sunny city is certainly worth a visit. The 3 days we spent exploring Seville's historical sites was a highlight of our time in Spain.
We've just had a few nice days relaxing the body in the Agave coast, laying by the pool and just unwinding after a busy period in Porto and lots of climbing upstairs. Now we've just dropped our car back at Faro Airport and now took a 3.5 hour bus ride and now we're in Sevilla in Spain. It's going to get a lot warmer today than what it has been, so 33 degrees is the top for today, so it's going to get friggin' hot, but we're excited to explore a city that neither Grace or I have been to.
So we're on a boat in the canals at Plaza de España. So this was the Spanish Forum that was built for the World Expo. It's so beautiful. It's an example of Spanish and Moorish architecture. I've forgotten what the type of architecture was called, but you can definitely see the Arabic influence here. And in the sun, the stones are just burning red. It's gorgeous.
We're just at the top of the Setas de Sevilla, which is that waffled cone shaped walkway monument. It was €5 each to come up. It's a beautiful view here, but I think at sunset or at night time they also do a light show here. It's a bit more expensive to come up, but I think it'd be worth doing. But it's still nice just to come up for a walk and look at the views. But we don't have time to come back tonight.
An interesting fact about the architecture in Seville is that the iconic red and beige coloured buildings are apparently a reflection of the blood of a bullfight against the sand of the bull ring.
We're at Casas de Pilatos, and it's a beautiful old mansion that was a palace built in the 15th century. It's so sunny and the gardens are totally in bloom. It's spectacular.
So we're currently walking through the expansive gardens of the Royal Alcazar, which is the Royal Palace. It's the most popular thing to do here in Seville, so there was a couple of hundred people in the line when we got here when it opened at 9:30. It's the oldest European palace still in use, so when the Spanish royalty come to Seville, they still use the upper floor of the Alcazar. I don't know when they're here if you can still actually come through and tour it, but they still occupy that top floor.
Having spent so long walking through the heat of Seville, we absolutely love spending a couple of hours slowly exploring these vast gardens and taking a moment to chill out on a bench, enjoying the sounds of the fountains and the aromas of the flowers.
So we've just come down from climbing the Giralda Tower and going through the Seville Cathedral, which it used to be a mosque, so it's actually ramped up to the tower. It's about 100 metres in the air, not steps, because when it was the call to prayer, they actually got a donkey to take them up, not walking up 100 stairs, so they could call out to the town for the call to prayer, which made it a lot easier on our legs, which was good. And we've just gone through the cathedral as well, which is the 4th largest Christian church in Europe. It's the largest cathedral, but the 3 that are bigger than that are basilicas, which is interesting as well. It's actually the resting place. You've got the tomb of Christopher Columbus in there as well, which we didn't know till going through there, which we thought was super fascinating. He spent a lot of time in the Dominican Republic. That's where he was originally buried, but Spain took him back from there, and now he's in here in the Seville Cathedral.
We're in Barrio, Santa Cruz, which is the former Jewish district. We've just come to go to the hospital where the elderly priests from the Seville Cathedral were housed, but because of siesta time it's closed, so watch out for that when you visit Seville. But this area is gorgeous. It's just full of small cobblestone alleyways and little shops and really cute tapas restaurants.
So we ended up getting inside the hospital de la Venerables. It just shows that, you know, just because it's a smaller site, it's not as well known. I much prefer this. I think it's far more picturesque and impressive than the Seville Cathedral, which is much larger and much more popular and busier. There's only been a handful of tourists come through here, but the small church inside, which we've got some footage of as well, it's stunning. And the grounds as well. So this is a place where, like a retirement home for old priests and a hospital for old priests that worked at the church. This is where they stayed. It's really nice grounds and gardens.
Spaniards are well known to be very passionate people, and this passion was on full display at our first football match in Europe. We were lucky enough to be in town for Seville FC's match against Mallorca, and even if you don't like football, going to a match is a very entertaining experience. From start to finish, the crowd is cheering and singing, and it was great to be a part of that buzz and join the masses of people walking back to the city from the ground.
So we got to the end of our time in Seville, and I've had way more fun actually than I thought I'd have here. We easily filled up our 3 days. We could have done another 1 or 2 days for sure. What was your highlight? What did you enjoy the most?
Oh, probably the gardens of Alcazar Palace. It was beautiful. So Spanish.
I think for me it was the soccer game last night, the passion that the fans had for the sport, yelling out constantly, singing through the whole game.
Mallorca is a stunning Mediterranean island that boasts a diverse landscape of picturesque beaches, rugged mountains and hilltop villages. We spent most of our time in Mallorca searching for spectacular beaches and wandering through the village of Capdepera. The beaches here were some of the most impressive that we have seen in Europe. We highly recommend getting away from some of the larger resort towns and exploring the natural beauty of the Mallorcan coast.
We don't often post about the accommodation that we're staying in, but here, this one's got a little bit more of a fascinating history and story. So it's an old converted nuns convent. So until 2005 it was used as a nuns convent. Then it lay dormant for about 15 years. And then in, what year was it? It was 2019. It was bought by some local owners that live in this local Spanish village, and they've converted it and renovated it all throughout and then opened it up in 2019 as a hotel. On our way to Cala Pi now, which is about an hour and 20-minute drive from our hotel, but it seems like everywhere from where we're staying is about an hour to 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you definitely need a car when you're in Mallorca. It's a beautiful day. It's meant to have a bit of cloud cover come over later, but hopefully that doesn't happen.
It looks beautiful. We're really excited. So beautiful. The water is crystal blue clear, and it's actually quite different today.
Yeah, it is different, isn't it?
It's got like a almost white sand beach, and we're just laying on a boat ramp because there's no rocks here and I'm not very stable.
It's tough. It's tough, and the hardest decision that you have to make each day is which beach to go to, but it looks unreal.
It was a very hard decision.
One of the main attractions in Capdepera is the castle, and while we're there was a medieval festival going on, so it was a great time to take a tour, as it was a hive activity and adorned with some traditional decorations. Built in the 14th century, it once hosted 125 houses within its walls, and while no longer housing any residents, it is a fantastic place to go and see amazing views over the inland fields and the Mallorca Channel.
Purposely tried to book a very quiet part of Mallorca to avoid crowds and just have a peaceful time, but the 3 days that we're staying here, it just happened to be a 3-day medieval market and festival, which they have every year here, and it hasn't been on for 2 years for COVID. So I reckon there would have been tens of thousands of people come through here over the last few days.
So the first night we came, we didn't bump into anybody on our 5-minute walk to dinner, and then ever since then all the alleyways have just been packed.
Absolute shockers, like mosh pits, but we just went for a walk around there and it's finishing tonight, so it's a lot less busy, but still super busy. But yes, they literally mosh pits through the streets, you could barely walk through.
So we're just on the way to a beach that's much closer to our town called Capdepera. It looks amazing. It's called Cala Gat.
So yeah, what's this, about 10-15 minutes from our hotel this time, unlike the last two that we've been to, which have been between an hour and 2 hours away. So a closer one, but it still looks equally as beautiful. So maybe we shouldn't have wasted the drive yesterday, but they were so incredible beaches, so we're happy we did.
We absolutely loved our time in the south of Spain. Seville was such a fascinating city. The historical sites here completely blew us away. Mallorca was so special. The beaches and coves here were quintessentially Mediterranean. We can't wait to come back and explore more of this beautiful island. Thank you for watching our video. We have lots more adventures coming up, so be sure to hit that subscribe button to follow along.